Okay, so let's talk about a home upgrade that's, well, it's kind of moving from just being a fancy luxury item to something that's all about efficiency. I'm talking about the hot water recirculation pump. It's a pretty simple little device that actually solves a really common and super wasteful problem we all have.
I mean, think about it. Your morning routine. You stumble to the shower, you turn on the water, and then what? You wait, and you wait. You're just standing there watching all this perfectly good water just gush down the drain. It's more than just annoying, right? It's incredibly wasteful. But what if you didn't have to? What if the hot water was just there, instantly?
So here's the game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to break down why you have to wait in the first place. Then, we'll get right into the solution. After that, we'll cover the different types of systems you can choose from, what it actually takes to get one installed, and then, we'll tackle the big one. Is it actually worth it?
All right, let's get into it. That morning wait isn't just a test of your patience. It's actually a sign of a fundamental inefficiency that's, built into the plumbing of most of our houses.
It really is that simple. Once you're done using hot water, whatever's left in the pipes just sits there, and it loses all that heat you just paid for. So the next time you go to turn on a faucet, you literally have to push all of that now cold water out of the way just to get to the good stuff that's still back at the water heater.
So, how do we fix this whole daily ritual of waste? Well, this is where the hero of our story comes in, the hot water recirculation pump. This is the piece of tech designed specifically to make that weight disappear.
At its core, a recirculation pump does pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It creates a little loop for your plumbing that keeps the hot water gently moving so it never has a chance to sit around and get cold. It's always right there, ready and waiting for you at the faucet.
So how does this magic trick actually work? Well, the pump gets installed near your water heater. From there, it creates a loop that runs all the way to the faucet that's farthest away and then all the way back. It then just gently pushes hot water through that loop, which means a fresh supply is always just inches away from the tap. No more flushing, no more waiting.
Okay, so now we know what it is and, the basics of how it works. The next question is obvious. Which one should you get? Let's take a look at the options, because there are really two main types to think about.
Your choice here really boils down to a trade-off. It's a classic battle between absolute comfort and smart efficiency. An active system, it runs 24/7. That means you get truly instant hot water, no question, but it's always using a little bit of energy. The demand-based system is the smarter one. It uses a timer or a button or even a motion sensor to run only when it thinks you're going to need it. That way, it saves a bunch of energy while still pretty much eliminating that wait time.
And honestly, the expert advice on this is pretty clear. For most of us, especially if you're adding a pump to a house you already live in, these demand-based systems are the sweet spot. They give you the absolute best return on your investment because they perfectly balance that convenience factor with real energy saving. All right, let's talk brass tacks. You're interested, you see the value, but what's it actually going to take to get one of these systems up and running in your house? And what's the damage to the wallet?
Yeah, this is definitely not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. A professional plumber is going to have to come out and look at your specific setup. They'll need to check what kind of water heater you have, see what your pipe layout looks like, and figure out if a new return line is needed. Getting the sizing and the wiring right is absolutely crucial, so this is for sure a job for the pros to make sure everything's safe and up to code.
And that brings us to the bottom line, right? After you factor in the cost of the pump itself and the installation, does this thing actually pay for itself? What is the real payoff here?
So, this is the number that matters. The typical payback period is just 1 to 3 years. That is surprisingly fast. Just through the money you save on your water and energy bills, the system literally pays for itself in a really short amount of time. And this really brings it all home. You're looking at 3 huge benefits. First, you dramatically cut down on water waste. Second, you reduce the energy your water heater uses. And third, you get that simple daily luxury of instant hot water. It's a true win-win-win. So when you think about that frustration every morning, the thousands of gallons of water wasted every single year, and the fact that you could get such a quick return on your investment, the real question is, why are you still waiting?